Welcome to my mini deep dive on Cagrilintide. In this video, we're going to cover what Cagrilintide is, how it works in your body, and also I'll show you how to reconstitute and inject it. And we'll go over the potential benefits, side effects, and my personal experience with it for fat loss. Now, I'm not a medical professional. I'm just someone who's done his homework and wants to share. So if you're looking for a way to feel fuller and curb your cravings, this might give you a better idea on whether Cagrilintide is worth exploring. Cagrilintide is known as a long-acting amylin analog. So in simpler terms, it helps the body recognize when you've had enough to eat. So think of it like letting off the gas pedal on your appetite. When combined with Retatrutide, you get two different braking systems, one that manages your basic hunger and another that helps with cravings. It's an interesting combo. Even though studies are still ongoing, the early results look promising. Research suggests that people using Cagrilintide while following a healthier diet and exercise routine can lose a noticeable amount of body fat. Some have even seen double-digit percentage drops in a short period of time. Now, it's not a magic fix. It works best when paired with good habits. But if you've been struggling with a plateau, it could help push things in the right direction. Side effects are usually mild, but they do happen. Most common ones include nausea and constipation, but for me, I sometimes get random pimples in the worst places, like the back of my neck or right on my nose, Rudolph style. Now, luckily, they clear up once my body adjusts, and I always start with the lowest effective dose and increase slowly only if needed. Now, it's important to weigh the minor side effects against the long-term risks of staying over fat. I've been guilty of overthinking the small stuff while ignoring the bigger picture. Let's talk about reconstitution and dosing. So with Cagrilintide, precision is key. This stuff is powerful. Going over by just 1 unit on your syringe can be the difference between feeling great and not wanting to eat for days. So to make things easier, I rehydrate my vial with 2 milliliter of bacteriostatic water instead of the traditional 1 milliliter. This makes the dosing more forgiving and gives me better control. Using 2 milliliter of water means that 10 units or 0.1 ml equals 250 microgram dose. If I accidentally draw a tiny bit more, it's not a big deal. The dilution gives me a little buffer to avoid overdoing it. This way I can adjust my dose gradually without worrying about extreme side effects. Personally, I start with 250 micrograms twice per week, usually on a Monday morning and a Thursday evening. Now, if I notice that it's just not working well over time, I'll make small adjustments. Tracking how I feel and taking notes on my side effects helps me dial in the right amount. Now, dosing is very personal. What works for me may not work for you. When it comes to injecting, keeping it simple is key. I use an 18 gauge needle to draw the solution from the vial and then switch to a smaller 30 gauge needle for the injection. This keeps the injection smooth and painless. Always clean the vial top and your skin with an alcohol swab before injecting. Slow and steady is the way to go, no need to rush. One important thing to consider is the half-life of Cagrilintide. Just because you don't feel much after your first dose doesn't mean it's not working. This peptide stays in your system for a while. Increasing your dose too soon can lead to stacking effects, adding more on top of what's already there, and if side effects hit, they'll stick around until the medication wears off. Take it slow and stay consistent. Cagrilintide is just one tool in the toolbox. Pairing it with a solid meal plan and regular movement can make a huge difference. For me, it quiets the food noise. Normally when I'm in a caloric deficit, I'm watching the clock waiting for my next meal. And now I find myself thinking like, wow, it's already time to eat. It's not a shortcut, but it does help stay on track without constant cravings. So to my knowledge, Cagrilintide is not FDA approved yet, and your doctor may not have a lot of info on it. If you're comfortable with exploring options outside of the mainstream, this could be worth looking into. I always recommend doing your own research and talking to a trusted healthcare professional when possible. Find what works for you. Before we wrap up, I want to mention something I get asked about all the time in the comments section. Where did I get my peptides? Personally, I use BioCare Aminos and I get my meal and workout plans from Earn It All. I'm not sponsored, I don't have any discount codes, and I'm not selling anything. I'm just sharing what's worked for me. And I've lost over 30 pounds using these resources. And if you're curious, you're free to check them out. I didn't put any links in the description below. I'm sure you can find them. If you found success with other resources, feel free to share them in the comments. This is Robert, and I am glad you're here with me on this journey. I wish you success in your own fitness goals, and if you've tried Cagrilintide or plan to, let me know how it's going for you. I really look forward to hearing from you, and I look forward to seeing you the next time. Take care. I personally start with 250 microgram. Oh my God. Micrograms. It's fucking wascally web, it's with their micrograms.